The sandstorm hit the mining colony just after sunset. Red dust filled the air and made it hard to see more than a few meters ahead. Jiho Kim locked the front door of his workshop and checked the windows one more time. The storm would last all night, maybe longer. He was about to head upstairs to his small apartment when he heard something. A metallic scraping sound like metal dragging across concrete. Jiho stopped and listened. There it was again. Someone or something was outside his workshop. Jiho grabbed a flashlight and opened the door carefully. The wind pushed against him hard. He pointed the light into the darkness and saw a shape on the ground. A person. They were crawling toward his door. "Help," a weak voice said in Korean. "Please help me." Jiho ran outside. The figure was a young woman, maybe in her 20s. Her clothes were torn and dirty. But what shocked Jiho most were her legs. They were prosthetics, mechanical replacements for her real legs. And they were sparking. "Damaged badly. I've got you," Jiho said. He lifted her carefully and carried her inside. She was too light, like she hadn't eaten in days. He laid her on the workshop floor and closed the door. The woman's eyes were half closed. Her face was pale and covered in dust. Jiho brought water and helped her drink slowly. "Thank you," she whispered. "My legs. They stopped working 3 kilometers back. I had to drag myself here." Jiho looked at her prosthetics. They were unlike anything he had seen before. The design was advanced, maybe more advanced than the best technology on the colony, but they were in terrible condition. Rust covered the joints. The power cells were leaking. One of the neural connection ports was cracked. "What's your name?" Jiho asked. Nari Park. "I'm Jiho Kim. I'm an engineer here. Can you tell me what happened to you?" Nari closed her eyes. "I've been walking for 3 weeks. Maybe more. I lost track of time. My ship crashed in the wasteland. I was the only survivor." Jiho brought a scanner and checked her vital signs. She was dehydrated and malnourished, but stable. He gave her some protein bars and more water. She ate slowly, like her stomach couldn't handle much food. "These prosthetics," Jiho said, pointing at her legs. "Where did you get them?" "I've never seen this design before." Nari looked away. "From my home?" "A place far from here. What place?" "I can't say, not yet. Please, I just need rest and maybe you can fix my legs. I can pay you, eventually." Jiho shook his head. "Don't worry about payment, but I need to register you with the colony administration. It's the law. Everyone here needs to be in the system." Fear crossed Nari's face. "No, please, I can't be registered, not yet. They might find me. Who might find you? Bad people? Dangerous people. They're looking for me." Jiho studied her face. She wasn't lying. Real terror showed in her eyes. He made a decision that he knew could get him in trouble. "Okay, you can stay here tonight. Tomorrow we'll figure something out. But first, let me see if I can at least stabilize your legs. They look like they might short-circuit completely." Nari smiled weakly. "You're kind. Thank you." Jiho helped her onto his workbench. He carefully removed the outer panels of her prosthetics. Inside was technology that made his hands shake with excitement. Microservos he had never seen before. Neural interfaces that were impossibly small. Power distribution systems that seemed to operate on principles he didn't fully understand. "This is incredible," he muttered. "Who made these?" "Engineers from my home," Nari said. "They were the best." "Were?" Nari's eyes filled with tears. "My home is gone now, destroyed. These legs are all I have left of it." Jiho didn't push for more information. He worked carefully, documenting everything with his scanner. The damage was worse than he thought. The prosthetics had been working far beyond their limits for weeks. It was amazing they had carried her this far. He spent 2 hours just cleaning and stabilizing the systems. He replaced the most damaged power cell with one from his workshop supplies. It wasn't a perfect match, but it would work temporarily. He sealed the leaking coolant lines and replaced several burned-out circuits. "There," he said finally. "They won't work for walking yet, but at least they won't explode. Can you fix them completely?" Nari asked. Jiho looked at the complexity of the systems. "Maybe it will take time. Days, maybe weeks. I'll need to fabricate custom parts. And honestly, I'm not sure I understand all of this technology. But you'll try?" "I'll try." Jiho helped Nari to a cot in the corner of his workshop. She fell asleep almost immediately. He covered her with a blanket and returned to his workbench. He couldn't stop thinking about her prosthetics. The technology was human-made, he was certain, but it was at least 10 years ahead of anything the colony had. The next morning, Jiho's workshop door chimed. He looked at the security screen and saw Daeho Choi, the colony administrator. Jiho's heart raced. He looked at Nari, still sleeping in the corner. He opened the door just enough to slip outside. "Morning, Administrator Choi." Daeho was a stern man in his 50s. He looked at Jiho with suspicion. "There was a report of someone entering your workshop during the storm last night." A security camera caught a thermal signature. "Just me," Jiho said quickly. "I forgot something and had to come back down." The signature showed 2 people. Jiho's mind raced. "I had a friend over. From the eastern sector. They left early this morning." Daeho didn't look convinced. "Jiho, if you're harboring an unregistered person, that's a serious violation. We have protocols for a reason." "I understand, sir. There's no one here but me." Daeho stared at him for a long moment. "I'll be checking the registrations. If I find out you're lying, there will be consequences." "Yes, sir." After Daeho left, Jiho went back inside. Nari was awake, her eyes wide with worry. "He knows someone is here," she said. "He suspects, but he doesn't know for sure." Jiho sat down heavily. "Nari, you need to tell me the truth. What are you running from? Who's after you?" Nari was quiet for a long time. Finally, she spoke. "Have you ever heard of a place called Haven Colony?" Jiho shook his head. "It was a secret human settlement. We developed advanced medical technology. Prosthetics, organ regeneration, neural enhancements. We wanted to help humanity. But then raiders came. Aliens called the Void Hunters. They wanted our technology. They attacked us. Killed so many people. How did you escape? Hundreds of us got away on evacuation ships. But we were attacked again in space. Pirates. My ship crashed here. I've been running ever since. The Void Hunters track survivors. They want to capture us and steal what we know." Jiho felt his blood run cold. "And if they find you here, they'll destroy this colony to get to me." The weight of what Jiho had done settled on him. By helping Nari, he had put everyone on the colony in danger. But looking at her frightened face, at her broken legs, he knew he couldn't have turned her away. "Then we need to fix your legs fast," Jiho said, "so you can run again if you need to." "I won't run," Nari said quietly. "I'm tired of running. If they come, I'll face them." Jiho looked at the young woman and saw steel in her eyes despite her weakness. She had survived things he couldn't imagine, and now her survival depended on his skills as an engineer. He rolled up his sleeves and turned on his workbench lights. "Then let's get started." Jiho stared at the prosthetic legs laid out on his workbench. 3 days had passed since Nari arrived. 3 days of barely sleeping, barely eating, just working. The damage was worse than he had first thought. The power cells were completely corroded inside. The neural interface chips had microfractures. Several of the servo motors were seized solid. Any normal engineer would have said these legs were beyond repair. They would need complete replacement. But Jiho wasn't a normal engineer. And this colony didn't have replacement parts for technology this advanced. "How bad is it?" Nari asked from her cot. She had been watching him work for hours. "Bad," Jiho admitted, "but not impossible. I have some ideas." He picked up one of the power cells. It was designed to last 10 years under normal use. Nari had pushed these legs far beyond normal use. The cells had leaked their chemical gel, and the internal structure had collapsed. Jiho went to his supply cabinet and pulled out power cells from mining equipment. They were crude compared to the ones in Nari's legs, much bigger and heavier, but they had more raw power. "This won't be pretty," Jiho said, "but it will work." He spent the next 6 hours cutting down the mining power cells and modifying them to fit. He had to redesign the entire power distribution system. The original system was elegant and efficient. His version was neither, but it would provide the energy her legs needed. Nari watched in amazement. "You're making completely new systems." "I'm improvising," Jiho said. "Human engineers are good at that. We work with what we have." The neural interfaces were the next challenge. These tiny chips connected Nari's nervous system to the prosthetics. They translated her brain signals into mechanical movement. The chips were cracked and failing. Jiho didn't have replacement neural chips. But he had medical scanners. The colony's small hospital used them to read brain activity. Jiho carefully extracted the sensor arrays from 2 scanners and began modifying them. "Will that work?" Nari asked, worried. "In theory," Jiho said. "The scanning technology is similar to the neural interface technology. I just need to reverse the function. Instead of reading signals, it will send signals." "You're incredible." Nari said softly. Jiho smiled but didn't look up from his work. His hands were steady despite his exhaustion. This was what he loved about engineering, taking broken things and making them whole, taking impossible problems and finding solutions. The servo motors required a different approach. They were too damaged to repair. Jiho needed to fabricate completely new ones. He fired up his 3D printer and began designing replacement parts. The colony's printer used titanium alloy, designed for making mining equipment. Jiho modified the designs, making the parts smaller and more precise. It took hours to print each component. Then he had to assemble them by hand, carefully matching the specifications of the original motors. "Tell me about Haven," Jiho said as he worked. "What was it like?" Nari's face brightened a little. "Beautiful. We built it inside a large asteroid. Gardens everywhere with real trees and flowers. Clean water. The best schools and hospitals. Everyone worked together to make life better. Sounds perfect, it was. That's why the Void Hunters wanted it. They saw something good and wanted to destroy it." "What are the Void Hunters exactly?" Nari's expression darkened. "Space raiders. They travel in large fleets, attacking colonies and stealing whatever they want. Technology, resources, people. They're cruel. They enjoy causing fear. And they're looking for Haven survivors?" "Yes, we have knowledge in our heads. Medical procedures, technology designs, research data. They want to capture us and extract everything we know. Then they'll sell it to the highest bidder." Jiho felt anger building in his chest. "That won't happen to you. Not while you're here." "You can't promise that, Jiho. You don't know what they're capable of." "Maybe not. But I know what humans are capable of. We don't give up. We don't abandon people who need help." Nari smiled, tears in her eyes. "I've noticed." By the end of the 5th day, Jiho had rebuilt most of the major systems. But now came the hardest part. Calibration. The prosthetics needed to work perfectly with Nari's nervous system. Too sensitive and every thought would cause unwanted movement. Not sensitive enough and she would have no control. The original prosthetics had been calibrated by specialized machines at Haven. Jiho didn't have those machines. He would have to do it manually, testing and adjusting until it was right. "This is going to take time," Jiho said. "I'll need you to help me. You'll have to tell me exactly what you're feeling, what you're trying to do with each movement." "I understand," Nari said. Jiho carefully reattached the prosthetics to her legs. The connection points were healed now, thanks to the colony's basic medical supplies. He powered up the system slowly. "How does it feel?" he asked. "Strange. Different from before, heavier. That's the new power cells. They're not as elegant as the originals. Try to move your right foot." Nari concentrated. Her right foot twitched, then jerked suddenly. "Too much power," Jiho said, making notes. He adjusted the settings. "Try again. This time the foot moved smoothly." Nari gasped. "I felt that." It responded correctly. They worked through the night. Jiho tested each joint, each movement. He adjusted sensitivity levels, power distribution, response times. Nari was patient, describing every sensation in detail. As dawn broke on the 6th day, Jiho made a final adjustment. "Okay, try to stand." Nari looked nervous. "What if I fall?" "I'll catch you." She took a deep breath and pushed herself up. The prosthetics whirred softly. She wobbled and Jiho's hand steadied her. But then she found her balance. She was standing on her own. Tears ran down Nari's face. "I'm standing. Jiho, I'm standing. Try a step." Nari lifted her right leg. The movement was smooth, controlled. She placed her foot down and shifted her weight. Then she lifted her left leg. Another step. Then another. She was walking. Nari laughed and cried at the same time. She walked in a circle around the workshop. Her movements were a bit stiff, not as fluid as they had been before. But she was mobile again. After weeks of being helpless, she had her freedom back. "Thank you," she said, wrapping her arms around Jiho. "Thank you so much." Jiho hugged her back, feeling her shake with emotion. "You're welcome. How can I ever repay you for this? You've given me my life back. You don't need to repay me. I'm just glad I could help." But Nari pulled back, her face serious. "No. In Korean tradition, when someone saves your life, you owe them a debt. I want to repay you properly. Nari, really, you don't have to. I want to become your maid, to work for you, help you, serve you until this debt is repaid." Jiho blinked in surprise. "What? No, that's not necessary, please." "I have nothing else." No money, no home, no family. Let me do this. Let me have a purpose. Nari, I don't need a maid. I need... Jiho stopped himself. What do you need? Nari asked. The truth was, Jiho was lonely. He had been on this colony for 3 years, working in his workshop, never connecting with anyone. Having Nari here these past few days had been nice, having someone to talk to, someone who understood him. But before he could answer, the workshop door chimed. Jiho checked the security screen and his heart sank. Daeho Choi was back, and this time he had 2 security officers with him. Open up, Jiho. Daeho's voice came through the speaker. We know you're hiding someone. The power usage from your workshop has doubled in the past week. There's no other explanation. Jiho looked at Nari. She looked back at him, fear in her eyes. They had run out of time. Stay here, Jiho said. He went to the door and opened it. Daeho pushed past him, the security officers following. They saw Nari immediately, standing on her prosthetic legs in the middle of the workshop. I knew it, Daeho said. Who is she? Why isn't she registered? Her name is Nari Park, Jiho said. She crashed in the wasteland. I've been helping her. That's a violation of colony protocols. She needs to be registered immediately or removed from the colony. She needs asylum, Jiho said. She's running from dangerous people. If you send her away, she'll die. That's not my problem. Colony security comes first. Then register her, Jiho said. Give her official status here. She needs employment to be registered. Who's going to hire an unregistered refugee with no skills? I will, Jiho said firmly. I'll hire her as my assistant. She can help in the workshop. Daeho frowned. Can she even work? Look at her legs. My legs work fine now, Nari said, walking forward. Jiho fixed them. He's an amazing engineer. Daeho looked at the prosthetics, then at Jiho's workbench covered in tools and parts. His expression changed from suspicion to something else. Respect, maybe. You rebuilt those? From scratch? Mostly, Jiho said. It took some time. Daeho studied Nari's legs more closely. What's the power efficiency? 30% better than the original design, Jiho admitted. You improved on technology you'd never seen before? I had to. The original parts weren't available. Daeho was quiet for a long moment. Then he turned to the security officers. Leave us. After they left, Daeho sat down heavily. Jiho, do you have any idea what you've done? The legal risk? The security risk? Yes, sir. And you did it anyway? Yes, sir. Daeho looked at Nari, then back at Jiho. Finally, he sighed. Get her registered by tomorrow. Employment papers, ID scan, the works, and Jiho? The colony board is going to hear about this. There will be consequences. I understand. After Daeho left, Jiho collapsed into a chair. Nari sat beside him. 2 weeks passed since Nari became registered as Jiho's assistant. She insisted on calling herself his maid, though Jiho protested. She cleaned the workshop every morning, organized his tools, and prepared meals. But more importantly, she helped with repairs. Her knowledge of advanced technology proved useful. The colony slowly accepted her presence. Some people stared at her prosthetic legs, others asked questions. But mostly people left her alone. This was a mining colony. Everyone here had their own problems. Jiho noticed Nari looking at the sky often, watching for something, waiting. Are you expecting them to come? He asked one evening. Nari stood at the workshop window watching the stars. I don't know, maybe. The Void Hunters are persistent. But maybe they think I died in the crash. How many survivors were there from Haven? I don't know exactly. Maybe 1,000 escaped. But we scattered across different ships. I haven't heard from anyone since my ship went down. Jiho joined her at the window. Tell me more about Haven's technology. What else did you develop besides prosthetics? Nari was quiet for a moment. Then she made a decision. Come with me. She led him to the workbench and sat down. She rolled up her pant leg and pressed a hidden panel on her prosthetic. A small compartment opened. Inside was a data chip no bigger than Jiho's fingernail. This is a data core from Haven, Nari said. It contains medical research files, procedures for organ regeneration, neural repair, even some early work on extending human lifespan. Everything my teachers developed over 20 years. Jiho stared at the tiny chip. This is incredible. Why didn't you tell me before? Because it makes me dangerous. As long as I have this, the Void Hunters will hunt me. They'll destroy entire colonies to get it. Then why keep it? Why not destroy it? Nari's eyes flashed with anger. Because this represents thousands of hours of work. the dreams of brilliant people who wanted to help humanity. My teachers died protecting this knowledge. I won't let their sacrifice be for nothing. Jiho understood. You want to share it. Make sure their work continues. Yes, but carefully. If the wrong people get it, they'll use it for profit, not to help people. I need to find the right people first. What if I told you that you already have? Nari looked at him confused. Jiho pulled up files on his computer. Look at this. Yesterday, a miner lost 3 fingers in an accident. The colony doctor could only seal the wounds. The miner will never work properly again. With your technology, those fingers could be regenerated. He pulled up another file. Last month, a woman developed a degenerative nerve condition. She's in constant pain. Your neural repair procedures could cure her. Nari looked at the files, tears forming in her eyes. I want to help them, but I don't have the equipment. Haven had advanced medical facilities. This colony has nothing. Then we improvise. Like I improvised with your legs. Human engineering isn't about having perfect tools. It's about making things work with what we have. You really believe we can do this? I know we can. But first we need to present this to the colony leadership. Show them what we have. Get approval to help people. Nari looked frightened. What if they take the data from me? What if they just want to profit from it? Then we'll fight them. But I don't think they will. These are good people here, Nari. They're just trying to survive. If we offer them hope, they'll support us. The next day, Jiho requested a meeting with the colony board. Daeho Choi was there, along with 4 other administrators. Captain Minho Song from the Defense Force also attended. Minho was a serious man in his 40s. He had fought in several conflicts and bore scars to prove it. He studied Nari with intense eyes. So, Daeho began, you requested this meeting. What's this about? Jiho stood up. Nari remained seated, nervous. Nari has information that could revolutionize medical treatment for everyone on this colony. Technology from Haven Colony that can regenerate lost limbs, repair damaged nerves, and treat conditions we currently consider untreatable. The board members looked at each other. What kind of technology? One administrator asked. Nari stood up, her legs whirring softly. Advanced biotechnology. My home specialized in medical research. We developed procedures that can regrow human tissue, repair damaged organs, and integrate mechanical systems with the human body seamlessly. And you want to share this technology? Minho asked, his voice suspicious. Yes. On the condition that it's used to help people, not for profit. That's a naive condition, Minho said. Technology like this is worth billions. Why should we trust you? Because if you don't, people on this colony will continue to suffer needlessly, Jiho said. Look at our medical records. We have dozens of people with conditions that could be treated with this technology. Daeho leaned forward. But there's a risk, isn't there? These void hunters you mentioned. If they find out Nari is here and has this data, they'll come. Yes, Nari admitted. They will. That's why I kept it hidden. I didn't want to endanger anyone. But hiding it means people who could be helped will continue to suffer, Jiho said. We can't let fear stop us from doing the right thing. Minho stood up. Can I see this data? Nari hesitated, then took out the data chip. She handed it to Minho. He inserted it into a computer and began scrolling through files. His eyes widened. This is real, he said quietly. This is actually real. Do you know what this means? It means we could help people, Nari said. It means we could become the most important colony in this sector. Medical centers from everywhere would come here. We'd have resources, protection, everything we need. Or we'd have a target on our backs, Daeho said grimly. The board argued for an hour. Some wanted to accept the technology. Others worried about the danger. Finally, Daeho called for a vote. All in favor of accepting Nari's technology and establishing a medical research facility? 3 hands went up, including Minho's. All opposed? 2 hands went up, Daeho sighed. Motion passes. Nari, you have our support. But understand this. If the Void Hunters come, we'll defend this colony. But you need to help us prepare. I will, Nari said. I'll do whatever I can. After the meeting, Minho approached them. Nari, I need to ask you something. This data core, does it contain information about Haven's location? Nari's face went pale. Yes, coordinates, star charts, everything. Why? Because if Haven still exists and if the Void Hunters haven't found it yet, we need to warn them. They need to know survivors are being hunted. Haven is gone, Nari said quietly. I saw it burning as I escaped. You think it's destroyed? But you don't know for certain? Let me check these coordinates. If there's any chance Haven survived, we owe it to them to make contact. That night, Jiho found Nari on the roof of his workshop. She was looking at the stars again. Are you okay? He asked. I'm scared. By accepting to share this technology, I've put everyone here in danger. What if I made the wrong choice? Jiho sat beside her. You made the brave choice. The human choice. We don't hide knowledge when it can help people. We share it. We use it to make lives better. Even if it means putting those lives at risk. Yes, because the alternative is to let people suffer when we have the power to help them. That's not who we are as humans. Nari leaned against his shoulder. You have so much faith in humanity. I've seen humans do terrible things. Haven was destroyed by greed and violence. It was destroyed by aliens who attacked you, but it was built by humans who wanted to help people. That's the difference. Yes, some humans are bad, but most of us try to do good. Most of us want to help each other. Is that why you helped me? Because you believe humans should help each other? I helped you because you needed help. It's that simple. Nari was quiet for a long moment. I'm glad I found you, Jiho. I don't feel so alone anymore. You're not alone. You have me, and soon you'll have this whole colony supporting you. But even as Jiho spoke those words, he felt a chill. Somewhere out in space, the Void Hunters were still searching. And now this colony had something they wanted. Something they would kill for. The next morning, Minho came to the workshop. His face was grim. I analyzed the coordinates from Nari's data core, he said. Haven still exists. The colony wasn't destroyed. It's damaged but functional. Nari stood up quickly, hope and fear mixing on her face. It survived? My home survived? Yes, but there's a problem. The Void Hunters have established a blockade around it. They're laying siege, trying to force Haven to surrender. We have to help them, Nari said immediately. We have to do something. We're a small mining colony, Minho said. We don't have the military power to break a blockade. But we can't just abandon them. Minho looked at Jiho. Unless we're very smart about how we fight. Your engineer friend here has already proven that humans can overcome superior technology with ingenuity. Maybe that's what we need. Not more weapons. Better strategies. Jiho felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting we prepare. The Void Hunters will come here eventually. When they do, we need to be ready. Not just with weapons, but with intelligence. With human creativity. How much time do we have? Jiho asked. According to long-range scans, there's a Void Hunter scout ship in this sector. It could reach us in 2 weeks. Maybe less. 2 weeks to prepare for a war. 2 weeks to protect Nari and everyone on this colony. 2 weeks to prove that human ingenuity could overcome superior force. Jiho looked at Nari. She looked back. The Void Hunter scout ship arrived on the 13th day. It appeared on the colony's sensors at dawn, a dark shape against the red sun. The ship was larger than anything the colony had, bristling with weapons. Jiho stood in the defense command center with Minho and other colony leaders. Nari stood beside him, her face pale but determined. One ship, Minho said, studying the readouts. That's good. It means they're not sure we're here yet. They're investigating. What do we do? Deho asked. We stay calm. We don't give them any reason to attack immediately. The communication system crackled. A harsh voice filled the room, speaking in broken human language. Mining colony. This is War Chief Crix of the Void Hunter clan. We search for Haven survivors, human refugees with stolen technology. Surrender them to us and your colony will not be harmed. Everyone looked at Nari. She stepped forward to the communication panel. This is Nari Park. I'm from Haven. What do you want with me? There was a pause. Then Crix spoke again, sounding pleased. So you are there. Good. We have searched many worlds for Haven survivors. You have data we need, medical technology. Come to our ship peacefully and no one on your colony needs to die. And if I refuse, then we take you by force. And we destroy this colony as punishment for harboring you. Minho moved to cut the communication, but Nari held up her hand. How much time do I have to decide? She asked. 24 hours. Then we attack. The communication ended. Silence filled the command center. We're not giving you to them, Jiho said immediately. I know, Nari said, but I wanted to know how much time we have. 24 hours. We need to finish the preparations. For the past 2 weeks, the entire colony had been working. Jiho had organized the engineering teams. They had been building defenses, modifying equipment, preparing for this moment. Status report, Minho ordered. A young officer pulled up data on the screens. Mining tunnels are ready. 300 colonists can hide underground if needed. The laser drill platforms have been converted to defensive weapons. The fabrication facility is producing armor plating, and the robots are ready. Jiho had led that project personally. The colony had 200 mining robots, simple machines designed to dig and carry materials. But Jiho had reprogrammed them. Now they could fight. What about the shield system? Minho asked. Not ready, another officer said. The power requirements are too high. We'd need to shut down half the colony to run it. Jiho stepped forward. I have an idea about that. But I need to try something first. Something experimental. How experimental? Minho asked. Very. It involves integrating Nari's prosthetic systems with the colony defense grid. Everyone stared at him. Explain, Minho said. Jiho pulled up technical diagrams. Nari's prosthetics have neural interface technology. They read her brain's signals and translate them into mechanical action. What if we could scale that up? Use her neural patterns to control all of the colony's defensive systems at once? That's insane, an engineer said. The processing load would be enormous. Her prosthetics already handle complex processing. And with the modifications I made, they're more efficient than the originals. If we create a network, connecting her prosthetics to the defense grid, she could coordinate defenses faster than any computer. What about Nari? Deho asked. What would this do to her? I don't know, Jiho admitted. It could be dangerous. The neural load might be too much. Then we're not doing it, Minho said firmly. Yes, we are, Nari said. Everyone turned to look at her. This colony is protecting me. Let me protect the colony in return. Nari, we don't know if it's safe, Jiho said. Nothing about this situation is safe. But if I can help, I will. Show me what I need to do. Jiho spent the next 6 hours setting up the system. He created a neural network that connected Nari's prosthetics to every defensive system in the colony. Weapons, shields, sensors, mining robots, everything. Nari sat in the center of the command room, cables running from her prosthetics to computer terminals all around her. Jiho checked the connections carefully. How do you feel? He asked. Strange. I can feel the colony, like it's part of my body. I can sense the weapons, the robots, everything. Try moving a robot. Just think about it moving forward. Nari concentrated. On the screen, a mining robot in Sector 7 moved forward smoothly. It worked, she said, amazed. I just thought about it and it happened. Good, now try controlling 2 robots. Nari's face tightened with concentration. 2 robots moved, performing different tasks. Then 3 robots. Then 5. This is incredible, Minho said. She's controlling them all at once. But Jiho saw sweat on Nari's forehead. Her hands were shaking. That's enough. Don't push too hard. I can do more, Nari insisted. Let me try the weapons. Before Jiho could protest, Nari activated a laser drill. It powered up and rotated smoothly, tracking an invisible target. Perfect control, the weapons officer said. She's as good as our best gunners. They spent the rest of the day training. Nari learned to control the entire defense grid. It was exhausting. By evening, she was drained. But she refused to stop. We have until dawn, she said. I need to be ready. That night, Jiho found her in the command center, still connected to the systems. She was practicing, moving robots, cycling weapons, testing shields. You should rest, he said. I can't, people are depending on me. Jiho sat beside her. Nari, I need to tell you something. If this goes wrong tomorrow, if the Void Hunters break through, don't, Nari interrupted. Don't say goodbye. We're going to win. Humans don't give up, remember? You taught me that? Jiho smiled despite his fear. I did, didn't I? Yes, and I believe it now. I've seen what you can do with broken prosthetics. What this colony has done in 2 weeks. Humans take impossible situations and make them possible. Tomorrow we'll do the same. I hope you're right. I am. Because we have something the Void Hunters don't. What's that? Each other. They fight for greed. We fight for family. Dawn came too quickly. The Void Hunter ship moved into attack position. Crix's voice came over the communication system one last time. 24 hours have passed. Surrender the Haven survivor or face destruction. Minho picked up the communication device. This is Captain Minho Song. We refuse your demands. This colony is under human protection. Leave now or face the consequences. Crix laughed. You threaten me? A small mining colony threatens the Void Hunters. You will die for this insult. Then come and try, Minho said, cutting the communication. Alarms blared across the colony. Colonists ran to the underground shelters. Defense teams took their positions. Jiho stood beside Nari in the command center, watching screens that showed the approaching ship. Ready? He asked her. Nari's eyes were closed, her mind linked to the defense grid. Ready, the Void Hunter ship fired. Energy weapons streaked toward the colony. But Nari was faster. She activated shields, redirecting power from non-essential systems. The weapons hit the shields and dissipated. First attack blocked, the sensor officer reported. Crix's ship circled, firing again. This time Nari coordinated the mining robots. 200 machines moved in precise formation, creating a moving barrier between the colony and the ship. Weapons fire destroyed dozens of robots, but the rest kept moving, reforming the barrier. He's surprised, Minho said, watching the enemy ship's movements. He expected an easy victory. The Void Hunter ship changed tactics. It landed troops. Small fighters dropped from the main ship, heading for the colony surface. Nari tracked them all. She directed laser drills to fire on the fighters. 3 were destroyed before they landed, but 5 got through, dropping Void Hunter warriors onto the colony grounds. The aliens were huge, twice the size of humans. They wore heavy armor and carried energy rifles. They moved toward the main colony buildings, but they didn't expect the mining robots. Nari sent machines crashing into the warriors. The aliens fired back, destroying robots. But for every robot destroyed, 2 more attacked. The Void Hunters were driven back. Incredible, an officer whispered. She's controlling everything at once, but Jiho saw the cost. Blood was dripping from Nari's nose. Her whole body was shaking. The neural load was too much. Nari, you need to stop, Jiho said. Not yet, she gasped. The ship is preparing its main weapon. I can feel it charging. On the screens, energy was building in the Void Hunter ship's primary cannon. Enough power to destroy the entire colony. We don't have shields strong enough to stop that, Minho said grimly. Then we don't block it, Nari said. Her eyes opened, glowing with fierce determination. We redirect it. What? But Nari was already moving. She activated every mining laser on the colony at once. 20 heavy-duty drilling lasers all pointed at the same spot in the sky. She fired them in a precise pattern, creating a field of intersecting energy. The Void Hunter ship fired its main cannon. The massive energy blast streaked toward the colony, but when it hit Nari's laser field, something impossible happened. The energy bent, redirected. The blast curved away from the colony and struck the ground a kilometer away, creating a massive explosion but harming no one. How did you do that? Jiho asked in amazement. The laser field created a gravity distortion. I learned about it from Haven's research. I just improvised. It was the most human thing Jiho had ever seen, taking scientific theory and turning it into a working defense in seconds. No alien could have done that. Only a human mind could make those connections so quickly. Nari woke up 3 days after the battle. Her head pounded and her body felt weak, but she was alive. Jiho sat beside her bed, his eyes red from lack of sleep. You stayed, she said softly. Of course I stayed. You scared me. Your neural system was overloaded. The doctor said another minute and you might have suffered permanent damage. But everyone is safe? Yes, thanks to you. Nari tried to sit up, but pain shot through her head. Jiho helped her lie back down. The colony is celebrating, he said. You're a hero. Everyone wants to thank you. I just did what I had to do. You did more than that. You proved something important. That humans can overcome anything if they work together. Nari smiled. I learned that from you. Over the next week, Nari recovered slowly. The colony's doctor, an older woman named Hana, monitored her carefully. The neural load had stressed Nari's brain, but there was no permanent damage. During her recovery, Jiho continued working. The battle had shown weaknesses in the colony's defenses. If the Void Hunters returned with more ships, one defensive grid wouldn't be enough. He gathered the colony's engineers. Together, they began designing new systems. Better shields that didn't require Nari to risk her life. Automated weapons that could track multiple targets. Underground bunkers that could protect everyone. But Jiho also worked on something else. Something he hadn't told anyone about yet. When Nari was finally strong enough to leave the medical center, Jiho brought her to his workshop. On his workbench was a new set of prosthetic legs. What are these? Nari asked. An upgrade. Your current legs served you well, but they weren't designed for what we put them through. These are new, built specifically for you. The new prosthetics were beautiful, sleek and elegant with improved servos and better power systems. But what made them special was the neural interface. Jiho had redesigned it completely. The old interface allowed you to control the legs, Jiho explained. The new one allows the legs to share processing load with your brain. Instead of straining your neural system, they'll support it. You can do everything you did before, but safely. Nari touched the new legs with tears in her eyes. You built these for me? So I promised to fix your legs. I just never said I'd stop at one repair. The installation took several hours. When it was done, Nari stood and walked. The new legs felt perfect, like they were truly part of her body. Thank you, she said, hugging Jiho tightly. Thank you for everything. You don't need to keep thanking me. Yes, I do. Because you keep giving me reasons to. That evening, Minho called an emergency meeting. Colony leaders gathered in the command center. Nari and Jiho attended as well. Long-range sensors have detected something, Minho said grimly. He pulled up a display showing deep space. The Void Hunters are gathering a fleet. 20 ships, maybe more. They're preparing for a full assault. Fear rippled through the room. When will they arrive? Daiho asked. 2 weeks. Maybe 3 if we're lucky. We can't fight 20 ships, someone said. We barely survived one. Then we need help, Jiho said. We need to contact other colonies. Form an alliance. The nearest colony is a week away, Minho said. And most colonies won't risk war with the Void Hunters to protect us. What about Haven? Nari asked suddenly. Everyone looked at her. You said Haven still exists. They have military capabilities. Maybe they can help. Haven is under siege, Minho reminded her. They have their own problems. But if we could break the siege, they'd be free to help us. And we'd be helping them at the same time. That's insane, Jiho said. We're a mining colony, not a military force. We're human, Jiho said firmly. We don't need to be a military force. We need to be smart. He pulled up star charts. Look at this. The Void Hunter blockade around Haven has a weakness. They're positioned to stop ships from escaping, not to stop ships from breaking in. If we sent a small ship moving fast, we could slip through their lines and do what? Minho asked. Deliver information. Tell Haven about the medical data Nari has. Tell them survivors exist. Give them hope. And maybe, just maybe, convince them to break out and help us. It's a suicide mission, someone said. It's a chance, Jiho countered. Better than sitting here waiting to die. Minho studied the charts carefully. It could work. The blockade is designed for defense, not offense. A fast ship with good piloting could make it through. I'll go, Jiho said. No, Nari said immediately. If anyone goes, it should be me. Haven is my home. They'll trust me. It's too dangerous. I won't let you risk your life again. Nari stepped forward, her new legs making her stand tall and confident. Jiho, you taught me that humans protect each other. That we don't give up. Now let me be human. Let me do this, they argued for an hour. But eventually Jiho knew she was right. Haven would trust one of their own. And Nari knew the colony's security codes, the safe routes, everything needed to get inside. Fine, he said finally. But I'm coming with you. Jiho, non-negotiable. We do this together or not at all. Minho assigned them a small, fast ship called the Striker. It was designed for quick mining surveys, but it could be modified for their mission. Jiho spent 3 days upgrading the engines and shields. Nari worked with the colony's communication team, preparing messages for Haven. Updates about survivors, data about the medical research, warnings about the Void Hunters' plans. On the day before departure, the colony held a gathering. Everyone came to wish them luck. People brought gifts. Food supplies, good luck charms. An old miner gave Jiho a piece of red cloth. For courage, the miner said. My grandfather carried it through 3 wars. It kept him safe. Jiho tied the cloth around his wrist. Thank you. I'll bring it back. That night, Jiho and Nari stood on the workshop roof one last time, looking at the stars. Are you scared? Nari asked. Terrified, Jiho admitted. But I'm more scared of doing nothing, of letting fear stop us from helping people. When did you become so brave? When I met you? You showed me what real courage looks like. Nari leaned against him. If we don't make it back, we will. But if we don't, I want you to know something. These past weeks with you have been the happiest of my life. You gave me more than new legs. You gave me hope, purpose, a home. Jiho took her hand. You gave me the same things. I was just existing before you came. Now I'm living. They stood together in silence, watching the stars and thinking about the journey ahead. The next morning, they boarded the Striker. The entire colony gathered to see them off. Daeho gave them official documents recognizing them as ambassadors of the colony. Minho provided military codes and tactical information. Come back safely, Minho said. That's an order? Yes, sir, Jiho replied. The Striker launched smoothly. Jiho piloted while Nari monitored systems. They left the colony behind, heading into deep space. The journey to Haven took 5 days. They avoided main travel routes using Nari's knowledge of hidden paths. Along the way, they talked about everything. Their past, their dreams, their fears. What will you do after this is over? Nari asked. Keep engineering. Keep helping people. Maybe start that medical research facility we talked about. What about you? Stay with you. If you'll have me. Not as a maid anymore. As a partner, Jiho smiled. I'd like that. On the 5th day, Haven came into view. The colony was built inside a massive asteroid, just as Nari had described. But surrounding it were 15 Void Hunter ships forming a tight blockade. That's a lot of ships, Jiho said. Can we make it through? Jiho studied the formation. The ships were positioned in a sphere around Haven, leaving no obvious gaps. But they were focused on preventing escape, not entry. Their weapons pointed inward toward Haven. Hold on, Jiho said. He pushed the engines to maximum power. The Striker shot forward. Void Hunter sensors detected them immediately. Several ships turned, weapons charging. But Jiho was faster. He weaved between 2 ships using their own bulk as shields. Energy blast missed by meters. They're pursuing. Nari called out. I see them. Redirecting power to rear shields. Jiho performed a maneuver that should have been impossible. He spun the ship upside down while still moving forward, then dove under a 3rd Void Hunter ship. The pursuing ships crashed into each other, trying to follow. How did you do that? Nari asked, amazed. Human reflexes. We're good at improvising, remember? Haven's surface loomed ahead. Defense turrets tracked the Striker, unsure if it was friend or enemy. Nari opened a communication channel and transmitted her security codes. Haven Control, this is Nari Park, survivor of Evacuation Fleet 7, requesting emergency landing permission. There was a long pause. Then a voice responded, speaking Korean with emotion. Nari Park? We thought you were dead. Not dead. Landing now. Haven's defenses powered down. A docking bay opened and Jiho guided the Striker inside. The bay doors closed just as Void Hunter weapons fire struck the shield. They had made it. As soon as the ship landed, armed guards surrounded it. But when Nari stepped out, gasps echoed through the bay. People recognized her. Someone called out her name. Then another. Soon dozens of people were rushing forward. An older man pushed through the crowd. He had gray hair and tears streaming down his face. Nari, my child, you're alive. Teacher Bong. Nari ran to him, hugging the old man tightly. You survived, barely. When the attack came, I thought we'd lost everyone on the evacuation ships. But you're here. You made it. I had help, Nari said, pulling Jiho forward.